What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hot Radio Shout In. Stepping in the building, I got an icon, a legend, one of the greatest to ever do it off in this thing. Dallas Austin, what's good with it, boss?
What's good with you, baby?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. Now, I mean, Dallas, first of all, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you off in the building, somebody that really put it down for the town. My first question is this, though. In this room and during my career, I've been piecing together this Atlanta story, okay? And anybody that I talk to, they always refer to Dallas Austin as the first person coming down in these Benzes, doing his thing and putting on for the town. What was that like kicking off this flavor in the city, man?
I mean, you know, it was crazy during that time because really, you know, for us, it was like we were kind of idolizing Dope Boys more than anything else, like, because that's the only people we knew that like made some money out of the hoods. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So like them and athletes, right? So you would see Dion Club 21, but then we'll see this person at skate rink. We know what they're doing. We know, you know, and so like for us, it was a crazy time of like not really thinking we was gonna make it like that. We were just doing what we do and just like having that passion for doing it and going to the skating rink, going to Jelly Beans, and you know, hanging out with Rico and Pat, Ray, then hanging out with T-Bars and all, you know, Divine, and all of us in the same place, just like, you know, doing what we do Atlanta style. Niggas is yeeking, they doing all that.
You know, but see, this is my other question though, Dallas. Did you feel like everybody that you knew at that time was going to grow up to be stars and legends in their own right? Because it seems like all of y'all went on to be ultra successful, not a little bit successful, but I'm talking about industry dominating successful.
I felt like if one of us got through it, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like when I started to crack through, and when Jermaine started to crack through, like Silk Times Leather,
yeah,
and we had the, you know, and I had like the Joyce Irby stuff going, then we started to see like, okay, everybody else was still being our friends. They were still like, you know, whether it was Chad, Jermaine, or me and Reek and them, we were just like, but I was the one doing it already.
Yeah,
and you know, it was that thing, I think that when it did pop, all of them was already on the runway because they were like, shit, we want to do this too, you know. And they just hadn't got the recognition yet. People hadn't seen them yet. And so when we hit it, the light hit, then they started looking for everybody else.
Yeah.
And they were already ready. Everybody who was already trying, you know, it hadn't been a person, man, since I made it that I hadn't known before that or seen them come up through the studio or come up in the neighborhoods or come up and be like, oh, y'all making it too. Or come up and damn, now they doing music and they wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, we done seen it all, from Lil Jon to everybody. But at that time, and really at the time when we started taking off, because it was no reference before that, like, you know, this SOS band and you had like people in them, but you couldn't really feel that in the youthful way, Cameo. You couldn't really feel that in the young streets that we were in because we were so young. I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
So when it resonated young, you know, and I think that for myself, for JD, for even Speech and Arrested Development, you know, everybody had that thing. And then all the New York people had started coming before that to Atlanta. And, you know, that's where I started. I was on Godby Road, and then my cousins and them would come from New York and play Eric B. and Rakim and stuff that, you know, there was no internet then, so if you ain't had those mixtapes or somebody bringing it to you, you can hear it.
Facts.
But we would take that stuff, and me and Jermaine and them would just be like, man, we got to add that to our stuff down here. And we started making our own Atlanta because nobody was really messing with us. Like at New York, they had hip-hop. LA had, you know, something going on, but like Atlanta for us is like, oh, that's country or that's bass music. You know what I'm saying? So we cracked it. It was just, I think we let everybody know something else could be done out of it, you know.
What was it like for you getting into this industry with no real prior knowledge of what was going on, man? Was it a whirlwind just trying to get adjusted to the fame and the business and the behind the scenes of everything, or how did you get acclimated to what was going on in the game?
Yeah, it was a trip because, you know, you come in creatively and then you find yourself out through contracts and trying to get paid for doing something, you know, if that's working or not. So it's rough because for us, you know, I've been in every possible contract it was coming up because I was so young. But, you know, each time I just said, you know what, I'm gonna mark this one off. You know, like the more I know, the more I deserve. The more I know, the more I deserve to know. The more I deserve. Right? If I don't know, maybe I don't deserve it. All right? Because I should learn shit.
Yeah.
So it was rough, but it impacted so hard, so fast. Like when we did, you know, I was in bad contracts the whole time I was doing Another Bad Creation, Boys the Men, TLC. My mom was working at This Is It.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're selling millions My mom's this is a barbecue. So, you know, and they were on the radio. They were spinning. Like, by the time I got to TLC, Boys and Men and ABC had already blew up.
Exactly.
So yeah, she had This Is It.
What was that like for you watching ABC blow up? I mean, the songs that we love, those Aishas and stuff like that, the ones that hit all of the kids' hearts, man, you were responsible for those. So, I mean, what was that like hearing your song on the radio, seeing those videos getting done, and saying that I've been masterminding this stuff?
It was kind of surreal, man, and really because we didn't even, making music here in College Park and, having the kids come over and record songs and taking on the Linux and dressing them, that was our thing to do, but to be able to really see it come back through a TV or radio, like we hadn't really experienced it yet, so we didn't know what that was like. And when it started being on the radio, and I'll be in LA and it'll be on the radio, or I'll be here and then I remember I was at LA Reid's house when they first moved to Atlanta, and like this Motown Philly came on right behind Aisha, right behind, and he's just like, man, you doing all these songs out of here. Man, but we're so country, man. Like, I'm just as country as everybody else.
Yeah,
So, like, I ain't want to go nowhere. I ain't want to mess with nobody else. She was from Georgia.
Yeah.
And when we started to make it, we really started to be like this around. We really started to, I think, be proud of what all of us were building different. Like if you look at Laface Records, the whole Laface Records was built by all of us. Same dudes from the skating rink, the same dudes from College Park. So there's me, Jermaine, Rico, and them. Yeah. So like all the TLC got all the same formulas on it. If it's Outkast, same formula. If it's it was just that was the go-to. That was us.